Good morning, it's Miss Hall.
And Miss Nelson.
Oh, it may not be morning when you're watching this, but good morning anyway.
So today we are going to be going over circumference of circles. You may have talked about this in bits and pieces in the past, but I think this is the first year that you're actually going to be working with circumference and area of circles. So circumference of circles, these two formulas are written on your formula sheet that you would have already gotten. And depending on if you are given the radius or the diameter of a circle will kind of depend on which formula you want to use. So we're going to break apart each of the formulas just so you know what each letter or symbol stands for. So the R in both of them stands for the radius. And remember, radius is going to be half of a circle. That is going to be your R. The C stands for circumference. Circumference is the distance around the circle. The D represents diameter. Okay, and the diameter of a circle goes all the way across the circle. So the radius is actually half of the diameter. So radius equals half the diameter, or diameter divided by 2. And this pi symbol right here, pi is either going to be represented by 3.14, or on a rare occasion, you can have it as 22/7. Sometimes you need that fraction form to be able to cancel out and have your numbers work the way they're supposed to do. So now we're going to go through and we're going to solve a couple of problems with you so that you can see how to go about solving circumference of a circle.
Okay, so Stephen purchases a bowl. The radius of the bowl is 20 centimeters. What is the circumference of the bowl in terms of pi? Hint, draw a picture. In terms of pi means we're actually not going to calculate it. We're not going to put that 3.14 in for pi. We're going to leave pi in there. And you will see this quite often. Your math is a whole lot easier, but for some reason my students say that seems to confuse them. Just leave the pi in there and don't substitute in the 3.14 or the 22/7. Draw a picture. Always draw a picture if possible. I'm a very visual person. That really helps me, and I know a lot of y'all are the same way. So we're just going to draw our bowl as a circle. We're going to draw our circle. The circumference of the bowl, what is the circle? Okay. The radius is 20 centimeters. Nelson talked about radius, remember, is halfway across. So this is 20 centimeters. So we're going to go back up and look at our equations up here at the top. And since they gave us radius, we're going to use the formula that has R in it, not the formula that has D in it. So circumference equals 2 pi R. Okay, we're going to substitute in what we know. We are looking for circumference. We know the 2. We're leaving it in terms of pi, so we're leaving our pi symbol in there, and we know that our radius is 20 centimeters. So whenever you're multiplying, you can just, you multiply in any order, so I'm going to multiply 2 times 20. So 2 times 20 equals 40, so circumference equals 40 pi. And remember, our unit of measure was centimeters. Now, if they had asked you to solve it, we would have substituted, here, let me write this in where it's supposed to go. Units is centimeters, so 40 pi centimeters. If they had asked us to solve it, we would have put 3.14 in for that pi, and multiplied 40 times 3.14, but that is not what the question asked. Always read and make sure what the question asked.
All right, guys, so example 2, and what you see broken down, as Ms. Hall was filling it all in on the last one, what you see broken down, you'll hear us refer to it as FS&U. Basically all it is, this is just a trick for you to stay organized and to remember to fill everything in, especially when we hit some of our bigger 3D shapes, you're going to see this again. You're going to hear us constantly say, no, where's your FSNU? She and I are going to be very, I guess we're going to be sticklers this year of you're going to have to write all the steps, because if we can train you now to write the steps, later on in the year when you need to recall it, it should just become automatic and you can just start filling stuff in. So we're going to be really focusing this year on these things right here. So make sure that you get used to start writing all of them as you're solving on quizzes and tests and homework and things like that. All right, so number 2, a record planer needle is placed on the outside edge of a record. Find how far the needle travels around the edge of the record if the distance from one edge of the record to the other measures 14 inches. Solve in terms of pi. Okay, so that in terms of pi means that I'm not actually going to be doing the full multiplication in our process. So I'm going to start by drawing a picture. And it tells me that from one edge to the other edge is 14 inches. So they gave us a D. Okay, so I'm going to go back and look at the top of the other paper, and I'm going to use my formula, circumference equals pi d. So when I substitute in, because I'm leaving it in terms of pi, I'm going to leave my pi symbol in there, and my diameter is 14. So when I do the math, I actually don't have any math because I'm not going to be substituting in 3.14 or 22/7. So my units are in inches. And so all I need to do for my answer, I'm going to combine 14 pi inches. And that's going to be my answer. You don't need to put a C equals in front of it. You can. It doesn't affect your answer. But your answer is 14 pi inches.
Okay, our last example. One circle has a diameter of 12 centimeters. Another circle has a radius of 7 centimeters. Which circle has the greater circumference? Explain your reasoning. Now, whenever we have explain your reasoning, we want you to explain it in words in a complete sentence. So, I'm just going to kind of label. So I have my first circle. And it says it has a diameter of 12 centimeters. So they gave us D. So I'm going to use the diameter formula. And then my second circle has a radius of 7 centimeters. So they gave us R. So on that one, I will use my formula with radius. So I'm going to come over here and show my work, and I'm going to start with 1. And I'm just going to kind of color coordinate it and show all my work so you can see for both. So, like I said, they gave us diameters, so we're going to go back and look, and we're going to use the formula with diameters. Circumference equals pi times diameter. Now we're going to substitute in. It did not say to leave it in terms of pi, so we're actually going to substitute in 3.14 for pi, and my diameter is 12. And so now I'm going to do my math. I'm running out of room. Writing too big. Okay, I have my 2 decimals up here I need to put in. So I have 37 and 68 hundredths. My units are centimeters. Sorry, I'm out of room. So my answer is 37 68 hundredths centimeters for our number 1. Now I'm going to do number 2. I'm going to try to squeeze my work in over here. We're going to use the formula with radius this time. 2 pi r. Now I'm going to substitute in my information. 2 times 3.14, and radius is 7. Now I'm going to come down here and do my math. I like to multiply my stuff together that does not have decimals first. So I have 2 times, because remember, order of operations, it does not matter what order you go in. So I'm going to do 2 times 7 first, and that's 14. Now I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 14. 4, 5, 12, 4. 2 decimals up there. So I have, we're dealing with centimeters again as our unit of measure. And this answer is 43 96/100 centimeters. So it says, which one has the greater radius? So we have 37, 6. So our number 2 is greater because 43 obviously is larger than 37. So in words, the circle with a radius, what am I putting down? Of 7 centimeters has greater circumference. Okay, so make sure you show all your work, make sure you do the steps, and come tomorrow if you have any questions.
Hi.